Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Barakate Yahweh, Barakate Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders who were at Great Millstone. A blessed salutation to the Akiums worldwide who teaching the gospel in sincerity and truth. One is a Shalom. This is Brother Yahweh. We come now listen to edify the Bayat Dawada, the 144,000 and the 1/3 men, women, and children. The Israelites that scatter among these heathen, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian, you are God's chosen people. Alright? I just want to do a lesson on Romans 10 and 4. Because, like I said, these Israelites who follow Christianity, they're spiritually retarded. Right? They are spiritually retarded. Right? And they have a doctrine saying that the law done away with. Some would use Romans 10 and 4 to justify their wickedness, to say the law done away with. Right? But the only law that was done away with is the sacrificial law. So what about the ceremonial laws? What about the feast of unleavened bread, which is the ceremonial laws? What about the feast of Passover, the feast of Purim, the feast of dedication, the feast of tabernacle? What about the Lord's Sabbath? Is these things done away with? Right? What about the moral law? You're not supposed to take a man, woman. You're not supposed to covet nothing of thy neighbor. You're not supposed to be a false witness. You understand? You're not supposed to sow discord among your brethren. You're not supposed to hate your brother in your heart. Right? You're not supposed to be a murderer, extortioner, a homosexual, a lesbian. You're not supposed to sodomize your woman in your ass. What about these moral laws? Is that done away with? What about the dietary law? What to eat, what not to eat, what is clean and what is unclean? Is that done away with? So you could eat a snake, right? You could eat an alligator, right? Come on, this thing is, as our El Apostle Gabar said, this thing is plain and to the point. This thing is simple, but you people with your wicked ideas, because your own thought is evil, you make things difficult because of your evil ways, right? So the only law was done away with is the sacrificial law. Right? Let me get Romans 10 and 4. This is the book of Romans chapter 10 verse 4. For a Mashiach is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believe. So they would use this to say, see, the law done away with. But this was the sacrificial law. Right? This was the sacrificial law. You understand that the Lord done away with? How are we going to prove it? Right? And we get Hebrews. Right? We get the book of Hebrews. And we can start at Hebrews chapter 10 verse 1. For the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifice which they offer year by year continually make the corner thereunto perfect. Right? So the sacrificial law was a righteous thing in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? Just like the ceremonial laws, the moral laws, the dietary laws. You understand? Right? Verse 2. For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers, once purged, should have had no more consciousness of sins. But those sacrificed, there is a remembrance again made of sin every year. Verse 4. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he said, sacrifice. Who's he? Yahushai, who they call Jesus. He said, wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he said, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. So Yahushai was that lamb, right? he was that lamb. You understand? Right? Let me get John. Let me get the book of John 1 and 19. Alright, this is the book of John chapter 1 verse 19. Alright. Let me start from verse 18. John chapter 1 verse 18. No man had seen the Most High at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he had declared him. And this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Salakia. John 1 and 29, Salakia. Yeah, Salakia the Akiams. This is John chapter 1 verse 28. These things were done in Barbara beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. The next day John see Yahushua coming unto him, and said, Behold, the Lamb of the Most High, which taketh away the sins of the world. And the world is the world of the Israelites. Right? Isaiah 45 and 17. Right? You understand? This is the world of the Israelites. Right? Which is you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American. Right? There was 18 world under the heaven. Right? So Yahushua is the Lamb. Right? He's that Lamb. Let me get next one in Revelation. Alright? Let me get one in Revelation 5. Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Alright, he said, And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, had prevailed to open the book, and to loose the seven seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and of the fourth beast, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth into all the earth. You understand? So this is Yahushua. You understand? He's that lamb that was slain. So the Most High prepared Yahushua as the perfect lamb. Right? And this is why, as we read, you're going to explain more to you as we read. So we go back to Hebrews 10 and 5. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 5. He said, Wherefore when he, Yahushua, cometh into the world, he said, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. In burnt offering and sacrifice for sin thou hast no pleasure. So this is the law that the Most High done away with, the sacrificial law. This is the only law that the Most High done away with. Right? So you still have the ceremonial laws, you still have the moral laws, the dietary laws. You understand? Right? Verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O power. Above, when he said, Sacrifice and offering and burnt offering and offering for sin thou wouldest not, neither hast thou pleasure with which are offered by the law. Then said he, Lo, I come in the volume of I come to do thy will, O power. He taketh away the first, which is the sacrificial law, that he may establish the second, which was Yahushua. He was prepared as the lamb without blemish to take away the sins of the nation of Israel. Right? You understand? Which is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian. Yahushua blood covered the sins of the elect, which is the 144,000, the 1/3 men, women, and children. That's the perfect sacrifice. Right? Verse 10. He said, by the which we will are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahushua Mashiach for once for all. You understand? So he was made a perfect lamb for the sacrifice. So the animal sacrifice, the Lord Yahweh done away with that. His son became the ultimate sacrifice, right? To take away the sins for only the 144,000, the 1/3 men, women, and children. And the Israelites that scatter among these heathens, look like these heathens, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indian, your sins are covered. 2/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indian, they are going to die on this side. Your sins are not covered. Yahushua said you are going to die in your sins, right? And these are the same ones who come against the scriptures, right? You understand? So, and this is where Yahushua say, hey, let me get Matthew, right? Let me get Matthew. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Alright, and it read, think not that I am come to destroy the law, nor the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one dot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So we still seen heaven and earth. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So are you pastors, you Israelites, all the time with the law done away with, and you have to keep the laws, right? You know, you rebellious, and this is where how shall I say it too, right? Let me get this in Matthew 19 and Matthew 19 and 17, when the young man come to him. Matthew 19 and 16, and behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Verse 17, and he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. He said unto him, which Yahweh said, Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbors thyself. You understand? So these laws ain't done away with. These moral laws, right? The dietary laws ain't done away with. Neither ceremonial laws. So let me get some of the ceremonial laws, but let me read this. This is what Apostle Paul say. This is what Apostle Paul say in let me see. Alright. You get it, see. Just be a minute. Right now, the scripture comes to my mind. It said we establish the law. Alright, let me see if I get it. Alright. I think it's in is it Romans, right? Corinthians. You know. Yeah, so let me get to these alright. Romans 3 and 31. This is Romans chapter 3 verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? The Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law. So we establish the law. So let me go to some of these ceremonial laws and show that we got to keep this throughout our generation forever. Right? Throughout our generation forever. So you people that's why I keep saying you Israelite that follow Christianity, you are spiritually retarded and you are spoiled. You are spoiled through this philosophy of men. Right? Because men teach you all that. If you go into the scriptures, you can see that the law still stand. And how the Lord going to judge when he come? You can judge by the law. This is Exodus chapter 12. I'm going to read from verse 14 to 17. Alright, he said, And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and he shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generation. He shall keep a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall he eat unleavened bread. Even the first day he shall put away all leaven out of your house. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. He said, and in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done. And he shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, right? For in this self same day I have brought you brought your army out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generation by an ordinance forever. Forever. You understand? Right? Forever. Alright, let me get next one. Right, this is Exodus. And these are the different ceremonial laws, right? The statutes. Alright? So you people don't know what you're speaking about. This is Exodus 31 and 16. Right? It said, wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generation for a perpetual covenant, a continual covenant. A perpetual means continually. Right? He said, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communion with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, table of stones, written with the finger of God. Right? So these laws still stand. Right? These laws still stand. Right? This is Leviticus. Right? This is Leviticus chapter 23. Right? And I'm going to read from 33 to 34. I'm going to jump from 41 to 43. Right? This is Leviticus chapter 23 verse 33. Right? He said, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacle. Meaning we can dwell in booths for 7 days. Right? The feast of tabernacle for 7 days unto the Lord. He said, on the first day shall be an holy convocation. He shall do no servile work therein. Right? So let me jump down to verse 41. Right? He said, and he shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. He said, it shall be a statute forever in your generation. He shall celebrate it in the 7th month. He said, forever in your generation. Right? These laws ain't done away with. Right? He shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelite born shall dwell in booth, that your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booth when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I the Lord your God. I am the Lord your God. You understand? Right? Right? So there's a feast of the Feast of Tabernacle is a perpetual feast. It's forever. Right? It's forever. Right? This is the book of Esther. Right? So these people are retarded. You understand? And they are evil. This is why they speak like that, because they are evil. This is Esther chapter 9 verse 21, and this is when Amon, this wicked Edomite, put out a decree to destroy all the Israelite through the providence of Elam, which was the Persian Empire. You understand? Right? And the Mosai turn this sorrow into gladness, and we got to keep this feast of Purim for 2 days. Right? He said, this is Esther chapter 9 verse 21, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly. He said, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning to a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portion one to another, and gift to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them. He said, because Amon, this wicked Edomite, Amon, the son of Amidataph, the Agite, which is an Edomite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pure, that is, the lot of consume them, to destroy them. He said, but when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letter that that his wicked device, which he had devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hung on the gallows, because he set up a gallows to hang the Jews. You understand? He said, wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the works of this letter, and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they should keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year. So what people talking about? Right? Every year. They're supposed to keep these every year. Right? So it's just a quick lesson, to edify the Baya Dawada. And with that, our session is edifying. I want to give our praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders who rule a great millstone. And a blessed salutation to the Akims worldwide, teaching the gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom to the Lord's elect.